You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Joining us now, one of our favorite dudes on the planet. It is Mark Durrant, color analyst for BYU basketball broadcast. Mark, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Scott. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. I miss seeing you, but talking to you will have to do.
Hey, me and Rubes were trying to get together a BYU-Utah State game in the Delta Center. Let's find a way to make that happen.
There's no reason that should not happen. I love those games there. There's been some good ones. And Utah State, man, sounds like you had just an amazing year. What a great team they have been. And, yeah, I'd love to see BYU and Utah State in the Delta Center. I'm in.
Let's go. Let's do it. All right, so when did you feel like BYU – I asked Mitch this, Mitch Harper, on a previous segment. When did you feel like Rob Wright coming back to BYU is a real possibility?
What'd Mitch say? Because I don't want to – if Mitch said it, then that's the right answer. But
yeah, Mitch thought it was always in play. He thought even the day he went into the portal, he thought there was still a good chance he would return to Provo. Just needed to test the market and see what the value was out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big part of it. Rob did indicate that he wanted to come back to BYU, and if he did come back, he was going to come back to BYU. And I get that people say a lot of things. So, if he hadn't done that, I wouldn't have been upset about it, really. I mean, but I think it said something that, he did like being at BYU. And I'm actually kind of surprised in today's world that everybody doesn't go into the portal at this point, just to gauge interest and market value and, see what other options are. I mean, if with your great radio broadcasting ability, I mean, if someone came to you with a lucrative offer and you would consider it. I mean, why wouldn't you consider it and make sure your options were fully vetted out? And but with that said, I mean, if all things being equal, I think, or somewhat equal, that he did like being at BYU, and as a fan, we sure love having him there. And so it's big news. I mean, you never know anymore anything really, right? But I do think he had a good experience this year, and BYU is an organization now that is playing at a high level conference and has great resources and can now compete with the Kentuckys and even the Dukes and North Carolinas. Maybe they're not quite there yet, but it's not unreasonable for some of the best players now. It's proven that will consider BYU as a realistic option, whereas not long ago that was a ridiculous thing almost to say. But now BYU, I think, is in a position and has a little bit of, mojo or what going with Kevin Young and with the resources they have, that they are able to compete for some of the best players in the country.
I think that you hit it on the head, too. If you're a BYU fan, you've got to have a smile on your face because obviously there's a financial aspect to it. And, we're not naive enough to know that think that that's not a big part of it. But at the end of the day, Kentucky's not without a pretty big checkbook involved as well. So just assuming that the numbers are in the same ballpark with each other, the fact that Rob Wright, who spent time at BYU as a not a member of the LDS faith, as an African-American young man that says, you know what, I still want to go back there. I enjoyed my time there. I enjoyed the coaching staff. I enjoyed the environment, and I want to be back at that school. It goes to show you the kind of grounds that BYU's made up in making this a destination location.
Yeah, I think so. There's been various reasons maybe in the past why BYU had some disadvantages. Obviously, you look at the honor code, and I think that almost is something that is favorable for BYU nowadays, especially with a player like Rob Wright and watching AJ this year. I mean, these guys are serious kind of basketball businessmen type people, and it's not about having that party college experience. They want to go somewhere where they can focus on basketball, and there's a coaching staff that kind of knows the NBA, has good NBA connections. They know that they can, now it'll be a couple years in a row that BYU is going to have the top draft picks, and so I mean, I think these guys are serious men, and it's not about where can I go and have a party time. It's about where can I go and get better and then get in the NBA. And so I think that speaks to a lot of different things. Obviously, you can have all the good intentions or good things in the world, but if you're not competitive with the Kentuckys, and I mean, the bottom line is, if you can't pay people, they're going to go where they can get paid. But if, like I said, if you can at least be in the ballpark and then provide an experience with resources and a coaching staff and an environment, and a place like BYU, I mean, there's nothing like going to the Marriott Center. It's packed, and it's a great thing, and it's such great fan support. And Utah State also has that going for them. That's a great place to play. It's a great environment, and kids want to play in those types of games and places where it's a big deal. And anyway, that was a long-winded, drawn-out answer, but I do think Rob likes being at BYU for a bunch of reasons, and BYU fans, like I said, love having him. He's just a fun, happy, really pleasant guy. He's just always got a big smile on his face. I watch him interact with the fan base and the kids, and going on the road, and there's people that come watch practice, and he's just so affable and so fun, and he just seems to have a good time out on the floor. It's just very endearing. He's a very likable and fun and exciting player, and I think he's gonna be a superstar. He was great this year. I think he could be an All-American type next year. He'll get better and better. He works hard at getting better. Like I said, he takes it very seriously. And so, of course, I'm thrilled. And he's a great kid, and I'm just excited for him and for BYU.
What does the addition of Colin Chandler also add to this team?
Well, I love Colin. I think he's got unbelievable athleticism. I think what Colin's looking for is a lot of what Richie was looking for after his sophomore year. I mean, they're kind of similar trajectories in their career, but a little bit held back, I think, and limited to a certain role. And I think, in talking with Richie, and Richie was, thinking about going to Kentucky after that sophomore year and was in the portal and all those things. And what he was looking for, and talking with his dad and with him, is just he wanted to have a bigger role, and he wasn't just a three-point shooter. And he wanted to be able to create and have the offense kind of run through him and not just be a spot-up three-point shooter. And I think Colin will have a chance to do that. I think he's super athletic and will really be able to blossom. And I think both having Rob there will really help him, and having Colin there will really help Rob. And I think that's a dynamic backcourt. I mean, it's to me automatically one of the best backcourts in the country. And so I'm excited to kind of to untap what Chandler can do, because some of his highlights are just off the charts, and I think he's quick off the dribble, and I think because he'll have more of a freedom to kind of do his thing, it will really help him improve his game, like I think we saw with Richie over the last couple of years. I think it's going to be a similar trajectory for Colin.
When you build out a team, you got to have depth. You've got to have key role players, and I really think Mark, when it's January, February, and a late run in March, hopefully as well, that you're going to be talking about Jake Wayleen as an integral part of this team as well. I was around the Utah State coaching staff, and they had absolutely fallen in love with him at Jared Calhoun's group when he was in the portal last year and eventually ends up at Clemson. But I know there are a lot of coaches that are really fired up about what he can bring to the team, and I think those are the kind of role players that could really provide a nice punch for Kevin Young's crew down there at BYU.
Yeah, I was actually super stoked when I heard about him. I mean, it's funny nowadays, Scotty, that like one day you're like, are we going to have enough guys to put on the court? And then the next day it's like one after the other, you're hearing great news. And I was really impressed. He didn't have the greatest game against BYU this year when they played Clemson, but I really like that 6'8" to 6'11", 3-4 guy who can extend the defense with his three-point shooting, but also has really good size. And I think, if you're talking Colin and Rob, I think you need really good wing. I just love that type of player, that length and that agility at the 3 and 4 spots. So I think BYU's got now some pretty good depth, and there'll be some pretty good battles to help there. But no question, Jake is going to be, he'll be important, really important, and will provide much needed depth, which was a real problem for BYU this year. And I couldn't be more happy about that. And you combine him with Ruckert and Barr and Branch. I mean, it's looking really good now. And now it's kind of like, can BYU find a big man or two to really just kind of round it out, because as it stands right now, they're looking really good in really every position except for that 5 spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Mark, we appreciate you joining us on short notice. Big day today for BYU hoops, but let's get together soon and grab a bite to eat sometime.
Man, I would love that. I'm just sitting here in my home office, and I'm holding this beautiful pen that my good friend Scotty handmade for me. It's my most prized possession. So anytime I can ever do anything for you, I will do it, my brother.
You got it. I'll, you know what? I think it's time for probably another couple pens coming your way. So we'll get to work on them for you.
Oh, beautiful. I love it, man. Bring them on.
I love
Thanks,
it.
Scotty.
You got it. There he is. Mark Durrant, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.